The most basic way to do an armbar is you grab the wrist from the outside, boom, and reach underneath his arm to pull it across the center line of your body. I reach for the shoulder and I step on the hip of the arm that I'm controlling. Now I turn my body 90 degrees and I want to get my shin as parallel as possible with his shoulders. From here I just have an easy step over, I squeeze my knees, lift my hips, and boom. The next way is a little bit less basic, but works really well too. So what I do from here is I grab the arm with a 2-on-1 grip. I step on the hip, so even if he tries to block my hip here, I do a 2-on-1 grip on the elbow, and now I use my hip to arch and bring the arm back to the center, the elbow back to the center. I throw my legs up here and hold them. Boom. From here, it's a fairly easy step. Over here, squeeze my knees, arch my hips, make sure the thumb is pointing up, and we're good. The next thing we can do from the guard is I clamp down on this shoulder right here. I turn my body sideways, boom, and I step my leg over his head. I make sure his elbow does not slip out while I do this. Squeeze my knees, thumb is pointing up, arch my hips, and we're good. Even if he manages to defend this arm and pull it out, I still have this one to attack the arm lock. Okay, from the armbar, boom, I'm here, I'm attacking and he manages to pull his arm out. Boom, I can still set up a triangle choke. Okay. In order for Luca to defend the armbar, he has to stack. So he comes closer to me, he stacks and he pulls his arm out. Boom. My next option is to hold on to this and underhook his leg here. I turn sideways and set up this type of armbar. Okay, we're here. I reach underneath his arm and I pull this across. My knee comes up to his head, I turn sideways and I lean my head this way. So he has to take all of my weight. I can submit from up here or sit down as close to his shoulder as I can. Pinch my knees again, thumb is pointing up, and we get the submission. If he defends, he keeps this really tight. What I do is I grab his neck and I put my hip bone or my thigh onto his shoulder. And now I just walk my hips forward until I can separate that arm from his body. And I do the same thing again. My head moves over here. Boom. Knees together and to defend the armbar, Luca has 3 options. Option number 1 is he grabs the arm while this is closed and rolls into me to stack. Oh. If this happens and he manages to pull his arm out, I want to act fast. Okay? I can get my leg around and set up another triangle. Option number 2 is he reaches underneath this leg and pushes it over his head. Boom, he comes up. Here in this case, I want to block his hip as he comes up. Boom, I want to stay stay perpendicular to his body, step over the head, and now I have two options. If he stacks me, boom, I'm choking him. If he moves away, I'm armbarring him. The third way for him to defend is if I separated this, he points his arm into the direction that he's walking. Here, he comes up, boom, and we're caught in this position. Here I have two options. Either if I'm fast enough, I go for the omoplata, if I like going for omoplatas, or if I manage, here I can go back to the triangle if I like triangles. In knee on belly. If Luca tries to turn towards me, boom, I underhook his leg, his arm, step around. Now my foot turns towards his head and my knee comes underneath here. I sit down and we're in this type of armbar, where my foot can either be here or here, almost does not matter. Here, I can manage to armbar him here, or if he's really holding on tight, I can step my foot across and start working for the grip right here, okay? Let's say we're on my opponent's back and he's really good at grip fighting. He won't not let me get a good grip on him. I get a who's your daddy grip and I let myself fall to the side. Boom, and I step my leg on his shoulder. From here my arm comes around and now I extend my leg and step over. And we're in an armbar position again. Breaks. Okay, depending on how he grips, there's different ways to break it. We always want to push in a direction that the hands separate. So if this was his grip, the line is here. I do not want to do this because I'm pushing this hand into his other hand. I also don't want to pull from here. It's not a good, strong position. So what I do is I switch my hand. I get my Kimura style grip again, and this time I push this hand away from this hand, looking like this. Boom, and I separate. Same goes if he grips the other way around. This way, I push this hand, this one here, away from this one. I turn and I break this way. If he does an S grip, boom, all I need to do is pull his arm away from the other. Okay? If he locks his arms like this, if this arm is on the bottom, no problem. I pull the top elbow towards me, and I pull the bottom one out. If the other one's on top, I do the same. Here, and I pull this out. If it's up here, it's even easier. I can just pull it like this. Okay? If he's really, really strong and he does a gable grip or whatever, what I can do is either step through here to break it, or I can grab my hip. So whatever way he holds, boom. If he could even maybe do a wrist grip. Here, boom, he grabs this way. I grab my hip and I throw myself this way. Boom. And the last option, if he's super strong and not even my leg will separate this, boom, I can push as much as I want to, it won't break. I sneak my foot through here. I lift up his head, I grab, I pull him on top of me, and I finish the triangle. Booyakasha.